What's happening YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, I've literally just gone to film a service video on the UK's cheapest Alfa Romeo Giulietto, but the sump plug was rounded, so I've had to go out and buy like a rounded bolt removal tool, and I've also need to buy a new sump plug. So that's out the window because I can't get the sump plug today, so we're not doing that. I've got an hour or two to kill now before it goes dark. Might as well do something productive. So what can we do? We're going to install this bad boy. This is a stage 2 Airtec Intercooler for my Mark II Focus ST, and we'll look at it. It's absolutely dusty, but let's get a rag. It's beautiful. So we're going to install this, I think. I've also got some pro hoses to go with it. I've had this since February. I got this for my birthday in February. It's now April, so I've had it 2 months. I just think it's time. The moment is right. Let's get this intercooler on the car. Nothing in my life ever straightforward. So right, so this here is I've had basically that bolt there was that rusty, but there was nothing I could do. I had to drill it out. Obviously with it being a bolt, it's quite fat, so it took me a while, but it's now free. So I took this boost pipe off just here. I'm going to take that boost pipe off over there now. You see the Jubilee clip? I'm just going to take that off, and then hopefully that's the intercooler free. Hopefully. Probably won't be, probably be something else, but hey oh. Right. I've no idea where we're up to. This has been just one of them frustrating jobs. Let me put some gloves on. So I thought I'd tackle this job yesterday. I got the instructions from Airtec. There's 12 steps on the instructions. Sounds dead simple. Undo a couple of bolts, slide your old intercooler out, put your new intercooler in. Sounds dead simple, done it, Fox. Smash that. Don't take that for lightly, because this is a fiddly job. I get the old intercooler. So I got this old intercooler off yesterday. The first issue that I came into then was the intercooler secured onto the car via 2 8mm bolts. So this side, which was the driver's side, came off, not an issue. This side, which is the passenger side, was seized solid. There was nothing I could do. I tried everything, impact gun, WD-40, heat, I tried everything, and it was seized solid. So I had no choice but to drill that 8mm bolt off, which is difficult to say the least, because it's hard to drill a bolt off when it's such a big head. But I piloted, drilled it, and I got it off, not an issue. As you can see, I took the old boost hose off with it. This side I disconnected the boost hose off the intercooler and left it on the car. Not an issue, intercooler off. That took me a little bit of time. But in my ultimate wisdom, what made sense to me was that, well, I'm putting a stage 2 Airtec intercooler on the car. I might as well upgrade my hoses, my boost hoses while I'm there. So I bought some pro hoses, boost hoses. I've got this side and I got the other side. To me, that made sense. It made perfect sense for that to happen. Replacing the intercooler, might as well replace my boost hoses while I'm there. Made sense. So the next part of the next issue was, and this literally took me, I didn't even do it on my own, so it literally took me, I was fiddling about for an hour to an hour and a half, about 90 minutes. So my wife came and I was like, what are you actually doing? Like, I can hear you in the house, like, because I was that frustrated shouting at the car. And basically, I'd already made the decision that I was gonna do a Sympulser delete. When I replaced the other boost hose that connects to the throttle body, I thought, well, I might as well get the boost hose that doesn't have the Sympulser on it. That makes sense to me. So to remove that hose, you have to squeeze together 2 clamps, slide the clamp off and pull your Sympulser off, slide your boost hose out. Sounds dead simple. Sounds dead simple. Well, it's not. This little hole connects on to this boost hose here, yeah? These are the clamps I'm talking about. To get a set of grips into such a small area on the car, to squeeze that together and have the ability to slide it down the hose so it pops off is ridiculous. It's nigh on impossible. So I took my headlight off to give me headlight off the car to give me more access. And what we ended up doing was, while this was connected to the car, that's how it all connected up. Like, what I had to do with I had to put my hand behind this hose to hold it up to get the clip high enough for the grips to get into the gap that's only just big enough to get them in. Once that was then on, there was no movement or wiggle room within this hose because it's quite old, within the clip, sorry, because it's quite old, and just the access area without the grips slipping off. That was where the frustration was coming from. I was that angry and frustrated that I was talking to myself doing this job saying, someone's laughing at me now, someone's looking at me doing this and they're laughing at me, they're taking the piss out of me, they're doing this to me on purpose. That's how frustrated I was last night doing this job. I didn't finish till like, it was about 9:30 last night, and like I just managed to get the old boost hose off, the intercooler off, and I put the other boost hose on the car, which I'll show you in a second. The idea was that I got this job done yesterday, and then this morning I got up for work all all giddy and excited with my new shiny Airtec Stage 2 intercooler off, and I'm boosting my way to work with my new boost pipes. That didn't happen. I had to leave the car last night. And then, well, I'll show you this boost hose first, where I've connected it up and how I've done it, because there's a sensor that you have to change over from your boost pipe as well. I'll show you where I've connected this boost pipe. We'll then look to put the intercooler, so there's like 2 hooks on the radiator bracket that I'll hook the intercooler onto, and then I'll use the mounting brackets to sit underneath the car and sit it on the bracing for the radiator bottom, and I'll show you this boost. So this is like behind the headlight here. So this is behind the headlight here. You can see here just in the centre of the screen, that's our nice shiny new hose. That's your sensor just there that I've just been telling you about. You can see the new Allen bolt connected to it, and that connects up here into the throttle body, which then connects to the plenum. So that hose is now in place. The reason that I put that hose in place is because I just think it would be impossible to put that hose on once the intercooler's on the car, whereas the other one I think is a little bit more accessible. So I'm going to get a mat out now and try and mount the new hook the new intercooler onto the brackets, like I said. So I'll see how well that goes. I might have to get the wife out again. She's clearly the master mechanic at installing intercoolers, because I couldn't have done this yesterday. That hose would still be on the car, and I'd have probably set the car on fire because I was that frustrated yesterday. But I've got this wrong. I don't need to put the intercooler on next. There is some plastic air dams behind, which I need to take off first. So just behind the front bumper, there's these plastic air dams. You can see where I put the ratchet into the Torx bit. There's one there, and there's one, it says, on the other side somewhere, maybe underneath, but we'll get this one off for now. Get this plastic air dam out, hopefully. That's one. So that's the air dams removed. There's one on each side. I've got them out. I'm now going to get the intercooler and try and put that in. Wish middle hook. In theory, this should slide in. It's on the bracket to hold it in place. If you look straight in the screen there, they're the 2 hook, the plastic bits, the radiator mounting and the intercooler hooks onto them. You then fix it underneath. So I've done that both sides. The next issue I think I'm going to have is trying to get this boost pipe onto its housing. As you can see, it's kind of just sat next to it, but I think I'll be better off tackling that from above. So you can see where our sensor is. You can see the entrance to the intercooler and where the hose runs. So I don't know if there's going to be enough play to fiddle it around, but we'll have a look. Loosen the Jubilee clip. So I changed tact a little bit there. What I did is, I'll show you. You can see here I've got the boost hose on. We've got the boost hose on. What I did is I took this side of the intercooler off its mounting bracket, lowered it down, I lined up the hose, and as I pushed the intercooler up to get it back on its mounting bracket, that hose just slipped nicely over the entrance to the intercooler. So I've just got to do that Jubilee clip up. I'm going to put the other hose on, and then I'm going to try and fire the car up before we put the remaining brackets on to make sure that it is running all right after it stalled last night. So I'm switching to the GoPro because the camera's actually died the battery's died on my main camera. So too dark outside to film, as you can see. But what I've managed to do then is the intercooler's hung on its hooks, but it's not got the L brackets underneath, wherever I put them to show you. But it's not got its L brackets on, so they sit underneath the intercooler to support it. I've not put them on. It's too dark now to film the rest of it outside. I'm going to do it again tomorrow night after work and car share and get a lift tomorrow. But like I said, I made myself paranoid yesterday because when I've gone to move the car and I've switched it on, it started but stuttered and then stalled. I think that's because it was getting too much air. So I'm hoping now that I've put this intercooler on that I can fire the car up, and that's what we're going to do. So I've got the key here. Yeah, let's hope this starts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ignition on, like it should hear everything prime. I'm just going to give it a second. That's as the door's open, bonnet's open, that's fine. I'm hoping if I fire it now, we should be all right. Perfect. It's running perfect. Yes! Boom, so it's fired up, the intercooler's on, I'll put the L brackets on, you'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. I'm going to leave it there for tonight and not push me up because it's dark. We'll give it, it's come off choke, car sounds absolutely awesome, sounds as it should. I'm going to recheck them hoses again tomorrow just to make sure I'm happy because I've done it in the dark. Should we have a cheeky rev? Let's have a cheeky rev. So we're back day, you know, what's this, day 2, day 3. So we're going to be putting the L brackets on tonight, mounting the intercooler where I need it and putting my under tray back on. So I'll get the car back in the air because obviously I dropped it down from last night. We'll get these L brackets on. Yeah, let's go. So all these bolts are 10mm, so these are the last clips that I actually recorded of me installing the intercooler, and I didn't record an outro. All I do here is make sure the intercooler is straight, make sure all the bolts are tight and all the Jubilee clips are done up nice and tight. My car isn't matte, so I probably don't feel the true benefits, but it is a lot more puller and does boost a lot harder in my opinion. We're well on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and comment down below what you thought. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.